Hey, hey, hey.
Yo, what's happening?
What's up? I'm getting my project manager and head of IT on here so we can take this dive. I'm excited,
Let's
bro. I'm
do
like
it.
really excited about this actually.
So my dude, I've been just hanging on for the last like week and a half, 2 weeks, just waiting for getting this stuff going. So I'm
Good.
I'm pretty hyped too.
Yeah, I hope it's much, much more quick since we have the endpoints figured out and tested. So that'll be good information. Nyan will know. The guy that built the mine is about to be on here. So
Sick.
yeah. And I've heard about how much more flexible Integromat is or Make.
Yeah.
Uh, but I have never used it. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that part?
Um, for basic automations, I mean, it's pretty much just as good as Zapier. Uh, my biggest reason for pivoting there was mostly just the pricing.
Yeah.
Um, anything beyond that, like if you're trying to set up something really complex, they just have some additional functionality in there, just as far as like the routing goes and the if else
That's
logic.
that's kind of what I
Um,
heard. Like it maybe didn't have to flow in one straight line, kind of.
exactly. You can branch out, very similar to how on Go High Level you have the if else
Yeah.
branches. You can set up something like that on Make. It's a little more technical and not
They
as
have
intuitive, but it,
they
it
have the
has the same
paths.
functionality.
So what's the difference in that and the paths on Zapier?
So the paths just came out on Zapier, right?
Okay,
Like that was a recent thing. So they didn't have that before, but now it's pretty much the same functionality.
got it. All right, well that makes me feel a little bit better. I was like, I hope that it's not that. I was like, how much worse could it be?
No,
But
it's not
still,
like far off. For the
every
basic stuff, it's the same.
so what's the advantage then of Integromat? Cheaper?
Pricing is the biggest one, and
Okay.
if that's the biggest one that
Is
I
it?
was immediately drawn to. But if you want to do some more like complex automation build outs, I just know that Make/Integromat has a
Okay.
broader variety of options. The biggest limiting factor to Make though was what I brought up yesterday, the fact that their OpenAI module doesn't have the memory
Right.
key. That's like
Bro,
huge.
I was thinking about it. We can literally just connect. I'm sure you connect Zapier to Make? Why don't we
I've
just
never
have like
thought to do that.
one step that just sends it over to OpenAI inside of Zapier and sends it back?
Because it would pretty
Send it,
much
yeah,
just
you can.
defeat
You send a
you
webhook.
can, but it would defeat the purpose of why I want to do it all in Make anyways, which is the cost saving.
Well,
But
it's at
of
least you're
course,
only
to not
doing
have
one
Zap at all,
task in Zapier is still a lot cheaper.
it is.
You can just pass
So
one task over there.
it could be done.
That'd be a
I'm
temporary
still gonna
solution
try to,
until
yeah,
we,
exactly. It's
yeah.
temporary, so I'd
It's a
still want to figure
bridge.
out how to
Yep.
do the rest.
That
The
should,
other because the other alternative is just to pass the summary of the conversation into the Make AI and hope that it
yeah.
functions that way. I'm also looking into what the difference between just sending it to like the system, which is typically just like a regular GPT setup, or actually setting a dedicated assistant on the OpenAI account. Because the dedicated assistants should be able to remember the entire
They
conversation.
can, but those things are, I was about to use them and then I figured out that it's like 3 cents per session. It's
Yeah,
way more expensive.
it is.
Um, and that's the case with Floatbot, which is the one that has the assistance type
Mm.
um, memory. But dude, in some use cases, of course, if you're like, I want to have, so one thing that's really cool about my inbound line for my mass market AI,
Mhm.
since Go High Level knows a lot, or AI knows a lot about Go High Level. In the prompt, I just said, hey, by the way, mass market CRM is Go High Level. And if somebody references that, just know that you're answering a question about Go High Level. But don't tell them it's Go High Level unless they
Yeah.
already ask or know. And so you can call and be like, yo, how do I integrate a calendar? And it'll tell you.
Oh, that's pretty sick. I actually hadn't even thought of that.
It's sick. But if you can actually, we've got our custom support library and with the ability to upload unstructured documents into the assistants, that's where Floatbot could be great because it could do voice authentication before it lets you start a session that's expensive like that.
Right.
Um,
So
so
they're racking up the
that's so
minutes.
sick. You call in, it's like, oh, you're right. You've been identified as this client of ours. Like that would close
That's
it.
one of the biggest things that like I wish. Well, I see you're using Air, but that's another of the places that like Simple Talk isn't up to speed. Is inbound calls are not great. It doesn't really
Yeah.
have the access to the CRM inbound.
Well, So I think that Floatbot's gonna be better. It looks like it's just way more sophisticated than Simple Talk.
Yeah,
So
definitely is.
I've got a client who's wanting me to build like this project with you. I've got another client who's having me build out the one that can do IVRs. And so I'm gonna sell them on Floatbot, and I think that's later today. And then boom, now we're all just growing so much faster together. I love it.
Yeah, I like that.
Wonder if I can get like the R&D tax credit on these things.
Probably.
I don't know. I gotta find out. Probably can.
Ask your tax man.
Yeah, I'm gonna owe some taxes, to tell you that. All right, so we've got Nyan and we're waiting on Nuri, I think. Nyan, my goal is to we can definitely start the conversation now. My goal is to get your perspective on what a timeline for this project will take. And then I want Nuri to help break it down into a template so we can distribute the work. Trajan, we were getting our ClickUp looks great. And so I want to show you kind of what we built out. We give each of our clients access to a client portal in ClickUp. What I want to do is automatically bill you at the hourly rate every week, but send you a report that's got screenshots, app activity, hours, everything for
That would
your,
be dope.
right? Because then there's no questions. And then that allows me to know that our relationship is taken care of. And also by working hourly like that week to week, if something goes wrong, bro, I can just be like, yo, we'll charge you less this week. I know it can work more easily and keep clients happier like that. And I'm going to call it a performance-based SaaS development platform. So that way, the reporting's all there, and then I can just literally hop on these meetings and help coordinate and do what I do best and have it all streamlined. So I want to tie in, we've got a rebilling system in Go High Level for Air. And I know we can set something similar up for hours that are reported in ClickUp. So we're going to show you a work in progress here. It's getting dialed in. I want to show him what that dashboard looks like, Nyan. The main purpose of
Okay.
the call is to talk about the make version of, we're going to make an app for mass market or for GHL on Make.
Make.
And we want to have the same things. By the way, if Trajan, if there's not an easy way to rebill for Make in Air, we have steps that like check to see if there's still a paying person and won't allow the Zap to fire if they're not in Go High Level paying. And so we've got ways to create dependency and also to make sure that even if you share the public link, like for instance with Zapier, we can share a public link that you can share with unlimited people. But the problem is then you can't control who uses it. So that's why we have the step that does it automatically in High Level. So we can give you like rebilling flows that'll check for people being
Gotcha.
subscribed.
I make my clients sign up for their own make accounts and
Okay.
Twilios and stuff.
Well, I mean, they can sign up for their own Make account and use your integration in their Make
Right.
account, and you can still disable it if they stop paying.
Cool. That's what I like to know for sure.
That's what I'm saying. We've built like all that, and so we're going to bring that here.
I like
Now,
that.
Nyan, one of the most important questions we had is, I know we've done a lot of troubleshooting to resolve errors when it comes to the endpoints as we worked
Yep.
through all the actions in Mass Market HL.
Yeah.
Is that going to help us move faster with the Make version, or is it going to be different?
It has to be different because the Zapier setup and the Make setup is a bit different when in a developer perspective. So first of all, I need to see the documentation, and I think I can give you an API by tomorrow on
Okay.
that.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
And then if we can just map out kind of what the rough timeline is going to look like. And then it just comes down to how fast we want to do this. How many hours per day
Yep.
we want to allocate, and we can figure that out once we have the whole project scope in mind. We don't need to charge anything yet, Trajan. Let's just meet tomorrow and get this plan back from them.
Cool.
And then just figure it out, brother. We can show them a little look at the ClickUp dashboard. If Nyan, do you want to take over?
Sure.
Sure.
So just for clarity, I'm gonna need the marketplace app, right? The one that is for Go High Level, and I'm gonna need the app for
Yep.
Make, right?
You're gonna need the app and Make, and then you're going to need not only all the endpoints configured, the OAuth is what's been tripping him up, Nyan.
Exactly.
Um, we not only need the endpoints and OAuth configured, we're also going to need to create the same system we have for billing in Go High Level that will prevent people using the application that aren't paying.
And that's
Uh,
specifically for the
Yeah.
make application, right?
Yep.
So my clients, are they gonna have to get they're gonna have to get the Go High Level app and the make app, right? Like you need both to
Uh,
function correctly?
No, it'll just be your
I don't
app
think
that'll
so.
connect right straight to Go
Yeah,
High Level.
the app will be they will be using apps only.
Say that again.
Yeah, so they will be using the app only, the one we are making
Yeah,
in
the one we
make.
make. What was the last question I had? And he says, so we're gonna make, let me see. So this is the ClickUp dashboard, and you can see like Louis Bruno is our other client who we have the similar relationship with,
Yeah.
and we've got a few other that we're bringing in. But
And these are the clients list that we currently have. So on the first dashboard, we are seeing a overall scenario of the clients that we need to start on this on their project. So like for us, we are assuming like we need to ensure the onboarding stage are properly going on, and we have some affiliates and some uh, other people that those are referring our services. So we enrolled all of those in company name, and we have several services. So for those we are using service purchase. So these are the main custom field that we need while we are doing the setup. And if we go client by client, so what it looks like. So we have the base form, which is the contact form. So we know if he is doing Kixie or not. That's our tailor setup. So that's why we need the contact form. And in the onboarding form, we get all the requirements from the client. So these are the things that will be automatically added when a new task list is created. And for clients, we go through these services. So we have separate action items for them. Like we need to ensure these are the main things that needs to be checked. So every software or the application that we are using has some checklist. As you can see, there are six checklist. Here is six checklist and 4, 11,
so the
and we have
tasks live
some.
inside there,
Yeah,
and AI helps us like end up calculating how long it takes to complete tasks, so we can
yeah.
better project overall projects.
Who set this whole system up for you? I've seen
We
ClickUp
did
before.
ClickUp. So it came to a point in Clean Slate, my credit business, where we were managing way too much to be just on the IT side. So IT was I built all the systems, I wrote all the scripts, I set it all in place. And then I was handling IT issues for the first year or two. And it got to the point where I was spending my whole day doing it. And that was around the same time. I think I brought Nyan on to help with the Zapier thing. And then I
Yeah.
continued to handle IT issues. And then we brought on our second IT guy to take that off my hands. And I had already been, so like inside each business, why don't you show them a client dashboard inside Mass Market HL? And we're, Nyan, how long until we have the time tracking, like pulling that data from Hubstaff into a report? Is that going to be very difficult?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Let me
great.
check.
So you
Yeah, we
built
have
this
that.
team up over
We
the
can do
last
that.
like year and a half.
My IT team, I think I brought Nyan on about a year and a half ago. But I was using ClickUp in those systems myself. Actually, no, we started using ClickUp when I started building the IT team. Um, but yes, no, I've been building Clean Slate for 2 years, and I brought systems over. I brought my high level and overall like sales structures, like virtual sales structures over from my solar company, and I just built those from scratch. So like this is all custom implementation, and we probably handle hundreds of tickets a day already in our own businesses.
So you wanted to see the connections, right?
Oh, I wanted to show him the MMAI help desk to explain how ClickUp works
Okay.
with that. So once you scale a big enough team, you get reps, you get all sorts of problems start popping up, and ClickUp was our solution to them. So it may be bigger in Clean Slate than Mass Market AI, but we've got we're gonna actually need to add one for investigation forms like Clean Slate. Yeah, show them Clean Slate. So we use ClickUp for all types of stuff. Like if a rep thinks somebody took their leads or wants to investigate something, they submit a form. They're not allowed to talk in the groups about it because we ended up having a time when our reps were at war. And that happens when you reach a certain scale in any business. It's happening in mass market AI to some degree. Um, Activity forms, we have Jot form submissions every day. That's a different system. I use that for sales KPIs. And then commissions appeal, merge requests, complaint form, and then a few other forms are all handled in ClickUp. So it assigns to the right person. I have C-suite request forms between me and my partners where it's like 50-50 partners in businesses to where instead of us just talking back and forth and what, there's always like, there's clear trackability between each partner of like, yes, when this was requested of my, when these are the things in my responsibility, when you request something, you can see that I had that shit handled in 20 minutes. There's no debate. And then we can track everything. You can track the timeline of, yeah, I already explained the whole thing. I think I was about to say the same thing over
Yeah,
again.
click into one of these things. Yeah.
Show them one. And so we're eventually going to flip this over to be actually the client portal instead of, so this is like a similar version to the client portal that Go High Level has.
Yeah.
We're gonna actually switch it to the client portal, but for now this works faster to deploy.
So this is the
That's
ID
what it
form
looks
built
like.
in ClickUp.
And so we operate off Loom and ClickUp. So every issue that gets submitted by anyone in the company, they're required to put a Loom video. And
Which company they are in or the sub account, and the teams, we have a better one. So,
so really like our core systems are ClickUp, Go High Level, and then Kixie. Those are the main 3 integrated systems.
And Kixie is your dialer, isn't it?
Yeah, and we have it like integrated all the way down to API. So they have one drop down of dispositions in Kixie, and the system automatically does everything from abandoning leads, if they need to pause the AI response, if they want to stop outbound campaigns, if they want to remove it from Kixie, like, and then also the tracking of a specific dial strategy. Like they have to do it a specific way. They never have to worry about which leads they're supposed to call. It's like prioritized to where flaked onboarding calls, then they have their new leads, then they have 2 months older leads, all prioritized, 10 lines at a time.
So
And
when
so,
you're onboarding clients onto the system, how hard is it usually for them to grasp all of the moving parts?
so that has been like the thing that we've been implementing a lot of the stuff you're seeing here. So now the
Right.
client dashboard helps, like they've got tutorial videos for everything. And the disposition system, I think, was the biggest issue. We didn't have it fully integrated to where there was only one disposition they had to do in
yeah,
Kixie. They had to do it there. Then they had to go in high level and disposition it. Then they had to add tags to stop like AI outbound, etc. And what we saw is people would mistype the letter on the tag, like tons of leads were getting abandoned that shouldn't have been. And so now we've got it fully dialed in to where it's obvious. There's one thing you do and there's only like 10 options. And it's pretty easy. And so we do customize that for each client to a degree. So we offer a fully customized solution. We need we explain what dispositions are and we nail it down to like, these are the only possible outcomes from a call. We'll also coach them on, hey, you don't want to have a callback later. You want to always tell your reps to just, use this talk path and say, hey, we're going to set you in the system for this day. You just message the AI if you want to push it back or reschedule. And so, there's coaching that's involved with all of this as well that makes a huge difference in how the setup works. Also, like we pass like a packet of information into the power dialer. So it's a 10-line dialer. When one answers, then you're able to press a button and automatically open up the Go High Level page, but you already need to start speaking. And so we pass a little packet we call a Kixie refresher, which has lead source, like reason for the call, whether it's they need to reschedule their onboarding, last rep they spoke to, lead disposition, so the basics, and that can be customized for each rep or each company.
So are you using Kixie specifically for the people who want to still be able to do manual dialing? Or like
think-
what is the main
When you're setting up an AI, this is a serious business and not someone that's just starting a business who doesn't really have a hardcore sales team, AI, you need to optimize KPIs for so many different things, right? First, you need to optimize for response rate on each campaign for SMS, email, WhatsApp, and voice. And after you optimize for response rate, then you're handling booking rate. And then you got to go to no show. And so it is not a short process to truly
track all
optimize
of that?
this.
Yeah, for real.
And even when it's optimized, your reps can talk on the phone, and really our AI filters out anyone that says they're interested and throws them onto a top priority power list. There are some limitations of AI right now, like with AI calling. I'm only familiar with one system that could potentially allow me to patch through Kixie's local presence. And I'm trying to make a connection with Floatbot and Kixie because they're both built on Plivio instead of Twilio or Plivo, whatever it is. And that should allow me to get local presence.
Mhm.
But if you're a company like our credit company that's calling national leads, if you're calling with, first off, maintaining a number pool of the whole country would be ridiculous. That's not reasonable. And then if you call without local numbers, you're going to get a 1 to 5% answer rate.
Right.
So you have to have local presence. If you're in a small area and it's all local, then you probably will be all right with doing Go High Level. So what I say is, look, AI is going to really help step in and optimize your system. From day one, we're going to set you up with the Kixie Power Dialer. Essentially, we should look at it more as multiplying the efforts of your reps rather than replacing them. One rep should be able to do the work of 10. And that rep is still going to be calling on top of marking messages read and looking over conversations. The day you start, we're gonna decrease your number of reps by 6-fold because we're gonna implement the Kixie 10-line power dialer. So that one rep is going to be able to help stay in that seat and make sure that we're not missing any opportunity as we scale. Some business owners are never gonna take the leap to really hire a sales team or dial their leads in any way. And for them, of course, AI appointment setting is better than nothing. But if you truly want to help a business owner, and they really need to be dialing, no matter what, on top of the AI,
Yeah. Fair point.
especially as you're optimizing it, which can be a process that can take a few months.
Yeah. How much because what I have already been doing to kind of mitigate that issue is I was just building manual power dialers in, GHL workflows. I
Yeah.
obviously see that Kixie is like a whole nother level beyond that. I guess how difficult was it to integrate Kixie into your system, and how much does that cost? I'm just curious.
We do that for other people. Essentially with we were using a task system in Go High Level, just like we were using a task system that would generate a task on stale ops that weren't booked.
Right.
And we switched because once I went from solar to credit, we couldn't get a good answer rate on national leads. And so the integration is really to make a power dialer work is really 3 systems. It's the lead disposition system,
Right.
which is important because they're not going to have, there needs to be like a way for them to know exactly what's going on when that call starts. And so you have to pass that data into the refresher. Now, the benefit of that system, in addition for AI, is we also pass that packet of information into the prompt when the
Right.
AI call is initiated. So now the AI caller with one prompt can call to confirm an appointment. It can call to reschedule an appointment. It can do all that.
Because giving the context at the top.
Right. And so that little context piece is valuable for the power dialer and for AI. So you need that. You need to map out your dispositions via API and then trigger the actions in Go High Level. It's 3 or 4. Oh, and then there's the systems that add and remove leads from the Kixie dialer. So we make sure that every lead that needs to be booked in the system is already on the right place in the dialer. So they just get on there and call. And so, we have catch-alls. Every Friday, we remove every lead from the dialer and add it back, which can be expensive from an API point, or standpoint, but it really doesn't matter. You want to make sure everything's getting called, and it's not, if you're doing over 6 figures a month like we are in credit, we don't mind spending $1,000 to make sure all the leads are on the dialer every week. And it's probably not that much, but maybe it's like 400, who knows, something like that. And you can see, like, this is, if we go to all time, we've got like 20,000 open leads. We've closed 5% of them so far. And as we go through, we've realized we need to actually increase our staff, because we're gonna be able to go a few months and bring in clients and clients and clients and not have to, that must not be showing all of them. That's 2024. That's this past 2 months.
Yeah.
So yes, there's adding them to the dialer, there's removing them to the dialer or from the dialer, and then syncing up the dispositions, and then creating the system for automatically populating what we call the Kixie refresher, which is that, like, the info that pops up when the lead hits the system, or when the lead gets answered.
So does Kixie, is Kixie also what's triggering the AI calls, or is Kixie strictly
No.
just for?
So Kixie is just run side by side. The AI calls are triggered in separate nurture flows. We've got a call nurture flow. So there's several stages, like I mentioned, right? You've got lead to demo nurture,
Right.
which is trying to get them booked, and you've got WhatsApp calling, and we separate it, a workflow for each one, so that if they, depending on the data type they have, we might not want to text it, right? So we want them to be able to control, these are the nurtures we want for this data source. And then after that, you've got no show. Then you've got onboarding, like trying to get them to the closing call when they already did go through a whole presentation. Then you've got review calls. I think it's important to meet with clients every week, if they're even just a regular client. And with something high level like this, you and I will meet as frequently as we possibly can. As soon as they need direction, we're going to meet. So probably every other day. I don't know. This is kind of a repetitive task. It may not be that much. So then you need the sequences to reschedule review calls, because even just trying to get your existing clients onto the calendar, if they ever fall off, can, be a huge problem. So yes, there's just many stages, and you have to optimize the KPI on each channel for every stage. And really, there's always another optimization. So after that, you could optimize for getting them to watch your pre-call video.
Yeah.
After that, you can optimize for getting them to reply to the text you send after the pre-call video gets watched. After that, you optimize for people that didn't watch the whole pre-call video, So, at some point, clients are probably going to get complacent and stop wanting to meet. But at that point, you've got somebody that's invested the time and already has their system working to a point to where they're probably going to stay with you forever, because they're not going to want to do that again.
Yeah, I feel that.
And that's
I
that,
like
man.
it. I like it a lot. I like the way you think also. You really understand it. Like, obviously, it's a system.
Yeah.
And I like people who recognize, system thinking. It's like how the
Yep.
whole world works. So
It's a lot easier now that I have the team to support me, dude. When I was like, first I was setting up all the sales teams and leading all the sales teams. And then as I built up those sales teams, I had to be able to automate stuff. And so I started to get really good at that, but then I became held down by my responsibilities there. And now I'm reaching a point where my team is just executing really quickly, and I can actually be benefited by taking on more work like this with you. So I'm really excited, bro. This is like exactly the position I wanted to be in, because this is the stuff that's fun to me. So we'll get that put together for you
really
tomorrow. we can meet at this. Let me check the calendar. And then I know you said you were looking like 1,200 a week wouldn't be a problem for you. Is that something that you'd be able to do every week until it's done? That's not going to be an issue, or should we look at a slower pace? Do you think?
I have to 1,200 a week. Don't
'Cause
think
we were
that's what
talking
we discussed
about
yesterday.
we were talking about 20 hours. Maybe no, you're right. It was like 1,200 a month.
Yes.
That could be very sustainable. Okay.
Um,
Do you
which
mind
yes.
also if I share this video on my channel, or is this too private, you think?
Do what you gotta do.
Because I tried to like explain the whole thing, like you said, from front to back as we went, to see if that'd be helpful.
Yeah, just tag me in it too.
Yes,
You
sir. I
Trey
don't know if
John
I have your
Edmonds.
YouTube, bro. What's your YouTube?
Trey John Edmonds, TreJohnEdmonds. This is just my name.
Yeah, I had a hard time figuring out how to do mine because I have multiple companies, and I eventually decided, look, I'm just gonna build one profile like you, then have all my stuff on there.
Exactly, because I have my independent consulting company, and then I have my like software and service implementation company, and I got something else working out right now too. So it's like,
What you got going, man?
oh man,
You said it like you didn't want to tell me. Now I'm gonna ask.
fuck, I did say it just that way. One of them I cannot speak on
You don't
until
have
it
to,
is
bro. I'm
actually
totally
happening.
kidding.
But also there's like, the influencer marketing space is pretty huge and I think a very low barrier to entry. So I'm setting up
Yeah.
I just did a podcast interview the other day with affluencer.com, which is kind of pitching this product to their whole group. So that's like kind of a fun side project. I mean, it's gonna make a bunch of money and be cool. And I'm gonna have another LLC set up just for that. But it's really just offering like digital voice twins pretty much to
Oh,
influencers,
cool.
getting them to self-market it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
you can do course creation like that. Do you see my AI avatar videos I made?
I haven't. Did you make them in like the last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I haven't
Um,
been on your channel in like 2 weeks.
they're not on YouTube. They're on
Oh, and the
because I was gonna flood it. I built one of those U GPTs
right.
where it has all my offers, then it has my lead magnets, then it has the scripts for each lead magnet, and it keeps all of them documented with my story. So then I can be like, yo, I need a bunch more lead magnets for this, or I want a new offer, and it can
So
literally
it's a
just add.
UGPT? Is that like not
There's other people that are selling similar things, and I figured out what they were doing.
right?
Um, you just create a GPT with like your business, your story, your
Oh
offer,
yeah, I
your
have one
lead
of those.
magnets, and your scripts. And then I used it to write a bunch of scripts and then create a bunch of reels of myself. And I was gonna flood TikTok, and I didn't want to hit Instagram or YouTube like that.
Yeah,
So
I feel you.
I can't find you, bro. Am I spelling your last name wrong? Is it you?
No, oh, Edmonds, EDMONDS. You can maybe look up like voice AI right after that and like them up. I haven't posted any videos yet. Like I had started it and was ready. Like I've
Okay.
recorded some videos, but I've
Here.
been like just jumping into like the API stuff with like a lot of sensitive information on my screen. So that's how I was originally doing it. I was just doing walkthroughs of all the technical shit, but then I realized I'm like, I can't share any of this. I have like hella secret keys and API keys just all on the screen, sensitive client
Yeah.
details. So I have to
Oh,
kind of,
let me show you something.
yeah, what you got?
So this right here, let me
You're not
see if it
sharing your
works.
screen.
Oh, shoot. I just followed you on YouTube. So you just go to, I'll share how you do this later on because it's like a software that I use as a, backbone of everything. Um, so you can just go to privacy mode on. Is it on or off right now? And it should blur out any numbers now. If we're in context, probably the best for, yeah.
And what are you using for this?
It is, see?
Oh my God, I love that. That's exactly what I need, yo.
Yeah. I got you, bro. I've been doing this shit.
No, I can tell. I
Um,
really appreciate your time
no
and
problem,
and
bro.
all
And
the
then
insights.
these custom support libraries are another unique aspect. You can add your own stuff in there.
Yeah, I've
And
seen that before. That's like the Zappy thing.
it's from HLP. And so is this privacy thing that I just showed you. You just need to go into their bonuses, into more of their back end secret.
I have access to all of the HL Pro Tools
You just need to
libraries.
sit there one night and just go through all the things, and you'll find all these goodies. This is one of the really old things. Yeah. So that's that, man. I should have had that on the whole time. I shouldn't have turned that off.
Probably, yeah.
I didn't
That's all
show my
good.
screen too much. Should be all right.
That's fine. Actually, it's funny. I tried to ignore the screen as much as possible for anything that was like possibly sensitive, but I did notice there was one client you had on there that I'm like, hey, that guy hit me up like 3 months ago.
Oh,
Al Wimberly. I was like, I saw that. I was like, oh, I know that guy.
who?
Al Wimberly.
Oh, he must have just opted in. I've never spoken with him.
Yeah, I can tell you how much he's making a month and what his goals are if you want.
Well, we are in a really, really
fine.
cool space. We've got a really, really huge opportunity. And fortunately, every single small business owner in the country needs what we do best, brother. So let's tag
Exactly.
team.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Thank you so much. Hey, and obviously if this thing works out, I'm sure we're gonna find some other ways to continue to collaborate.
Me
So,
too.
I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope to see you in the AI mastermind group too.
I think I tried to join and it said I couldn't do it. It said the invitation was expired or something.
I think I sent you another one. You should be in it. Check
I'm in chats again, updates, communities.
it should be agency marketing mastermind.
Well, I don't see it.
If I send a message, let's see.
Yeah, I saw the message.
Because I sent one to you
There it
directly.
is. Okay. Well, look what. Oh, I'm in.
Cool. So we
What's up,
meet
guys? Exclamation mark.
we meet weekly on Thursdays. So at like 1 p.m. Eastern. We just
All
kind
right.
of all talk shop and stuff.
Cool. I mean, there's so many like voice providers and stuff. I'm glad I've got the opportunity to build with one now because I can allocate some staff to working on that.
Right.
Once we have the best voice providers and we have these custom integrations, we're gonna be set apart. Well, cool, bro. I'll see you tomorrow, same time.
Yeah, 2:30.
Yep.
Cool. Let's do
All
it.
right. I'll see you then, bro. Thank you.
Cool. All right, Rob. Peace.
Peace.